It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's showtime. Geno Jones Showtime. I kind of jumped in a little early. So, listen up. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Subscribe, share, screen grab, leave your comments here in the comments section. Join me live if you're watching me live. Let's start a conversation. If you got a question, you want to debate with me or whatever. Let's just get the conversation going. When I'm on live, you can ask questions and comments and everything else right now live in my chat room. But please leave your comments on the show in the comments section. So subscribe, share, screen grab, like, binge watch all my back episodes. And like I said, leave those comments. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CM Like Mary, CM Transportation LLC.net. CMTransportationLLC.net. If your business needs a transportation company that is dependable, reliable, and on time, not seat peak time. Shout out to Miss Carissa Carter. Carissa Carter, she is the CEO of CM Transportation. Like I said, CMTransportationLLC.net. Or you can call them, headquartered right here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro, but they do business nationwide. 843-606-2702. So that's 606-2702, 843 area code. All right, listen, let's jump right in. First of all, let me start off on a lighter note. Shout out to my birthday folks celebrating a birthday today. I do believe so we are still, if I can remember, cancers, right? Yeah. So, Miss Kiki Shepard. Now, if you're a fan of Showtime at the Apollo, especially like an old school fan of Showtime at the Apollo back in the day, Miss Kiki Shepard. As a matter of fact, remember the video? Old school, early 2000s, Outkast. I love the way you walk, something like that. So you were singing about Kiki Shepard. So Kiki Shepard, co-host of Showtime at the Apollo, is 73 today. Wow, black don't crack. Also celebrating her birthday today, one of the great actors of our time and any time. He won an Academy Award for the Best Supporting Actor for his role. He played Idi Amin Dada in the movie The Last King of Scotland, one of my favorite actors. He was also Azuri in Black Panther. He was in movies like The Butler, The Great Debaters. I am talking about Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker, happy 63rd birthday today. The big 6-0. Happy birthday to Lisa McDowell. So if you're a big fan of the original Coming to America, she played Lisa McDowell, who was John Amos's Mr. McDowell. They had the bootleg McDonald's. It was McDowell's, who Eddie Murphy fell in love, married, and she was the queen, Eddie's wife, in Coming, the second sequel. The first Coming to America was in 1988, and then they had Coming with the number 2, Coming to America. That was the sequel. That was back in 2021. So Sherry Headley is her name, Miss Lisa McDowell, the big 6-0 today. Comedian Eddie Griffin, 56, my dude, funny dude, one of my favorite comedians. Rapper Jim Jones is 48. And Dame Dollar, NBA star, really NBA superstar, one of the greatest shooters. He's got that Steph Curry range. Damian Lillard, 34 today, and he was a hell of a rapper, Dame Dollar. That's his rapper name. So shout out to all of my cancers celebrating a birthday today. Okay, let's talk about the state of where we are as America. Saturday, there was an attempted assassination of Donald Trump. I do not celebrate violence in any form. I don't wish death on nobody. Even people who I can't despise, who I loathe, who I know that are racist and sexist and misogynistic and insecure and maybe evil, power hungry, I still do not wish death upon no one, no man, no woman, nobody. That's not what we do. It's not what I do. Not at all. I do not wish death upon anyone. I did not want this man to die. I'm actually glad that he didn't die, because I don't wish that on anybody. The way to defeat this man and to defend our democracy and to save this country from a dictator who this man said he's going to be on day one, who has the dictator's playbook, Project 2025, like 928 pages of how to convert this country, this government, and all of his administrative organizations, or the entire, some call it the administrative state, all the different branches of governments and departments, turn it into a dictatorship that would answer to one person, to one man, the man who wants to be a dictator, who wants to destroy this democracy. But I hope that, one thing that everybody in this country, because I have been talking about this on this show for too long, there's too many, especially part of this MAGA cult. I'm just calling it what it is. You can get mad, get angry, leave your comments, but the facts and the truth, that there are many, many people surrounding Donald Trump, people who were a part of putting together Project 2025. The president, just recently, not even 4 weeks ago, the president of the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is the organization that got together all these right-wing MAGA zealots and all these right-wing white nationalists, which is this whole concept of whiteness that's become so tribal, is a made-up construct. It's made up. There's no such thing in human biology, in the human genome, as whiteness. I digress. People, those who are deeply embedded, brainwashed, I just got to call it like it is, either brainwashed or who've bought into this ideology of white Christian nationalism because of their racism, because of their misogyny or sexism or homophobia, for the sake of profit, which is at the root of it. At the root of this whole ideology of white Christian nationalism and this MAGA cult is equal parts power, race, racism, and misogyny. And they all come together to form like the pillars, the foundation of this MAGA cult. But the one thing I hope that America, including many of these right-wing Christian nationalists and those who buy into this ideology, who go to these rallies, Donald Trump's rallies, I hope that America realizes, and so many of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers and the Boogaloo Boys and men that'll sit in an airport next to a black woman and openly speak of one after what happened, the attempted assassination Saturday of Donald Trump, to sit in an airport basically at a gate, at an airport, next to a black woman and openly be on the phone talking out loud that he's going to go home and get his gun and he's going to take his daughter to the range and teach her how to shoot to get ready for this war. So for all of you that have been calling for this civil war or this race war, what you all and everybody needs to understand, violence hurts everybody. Full stop, period. Violence hurts everybody, and it can hurt anybody, including you and me, or someone that we love or someone that you love at any time, that bullets don't have a name. Bullets don't have an ideology. Bullets are not racist or sexist or misogynistic or anti-Semitic or anti-Muslim, Islamophobic, anti-immigrant. It's none of that. None of that. It is the people that use bullets and guns and weapons to try to intimidate or to make a point or to spread their ideology, to be a part of some civil war and race war, to where America and all America will lose. And people like Vladimir Putin, who despises America and who's been involved in years trying to pit and using race, pitting one group of Americans against the other. The dictator in chief that Donald Trump, as we call him, Orange Hitler, who wants to be a dictator like that, and Viktor Orban, who's the prime minister, the president of Hungary, and Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, and President Xi, the president of China, another dictator. Violence hurts everyone. Political violence, nobody wins. So you people that keep talking about a civil war, nobody wins, including you and your family, because you never know when that violence will come knocking at your door. So I hope that America, like President Biden said, will take a deep breath, and step back and realize that all the stoking of a potential civil war, they even got Hollywood made a movie that's called Civil War. Putin and President Xi of China, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and Viktor Orban of Hungary, they would love it, especially Putin. He would love to see America destroy itself, and for him not to have to fire one bullet, one missile. Just sit back and watch America self-destruct. Political violence, everyone gets hurt, and everyone will lose. Now, what we also must remember, that what happened Saturday evening has not changed what we are facing as a people and as a country. It is still a choice between your freedom and your oppression, and the people who want to oppress you are some of the same people that have been calling for political violence. I was talking about a guy named Kevin Roberts. So he is the president of the Heritage Foundation. That's the organization that wrote and got a lot of people together, a group of white nationalists, about 100 of them, to contribute and come up with their individual plans and put them all together to come up with a plan to change, to create a dictatorship in the first 180 days if Orange Hitler, a.k.a. Donald Trump, is reelected and put back in the White House. Kevin Roberts, not even a month ago, said, and I'm quoting him directly, "We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows." Let me read that again. Yes, the man who is responsible, the ringleader for putting together Project 2025, and how it basically is a blueprint, 928 pages, to recreate a whole new set of Jim Crow laws, like a new Jim Crow 2.0, a new suffrage, which is legal discrimination against women. It's like a combination. Let's take the worst of America's Jim Crow laws from the late 1800s and 1900s up to like 1964. And the suffrage laws that wouldn't allow women to vote. Women couldn't buy a home. Women couldn't get a credit or buy a home in their own name. They couldn't take out credit. They couldn't sign a contract. All that. That is what Project 2025 wants to do. Project 2025 that wants to get rid of the Department of Education, eliminate money for public schools, but at the same time, they want to insist and demand that every school-age child takes this military entrance exam. So why is that? So we ban books, we get rid of the Department of Education, we basically get rid of public education, and the only schools that you will have will be schools that can legally discriminate and remain segregated. So these millions of children who won't have public schools to go to will have a couple of choices because they're going to be forced. All these young people are going to be forced to take like a military entrance, like an army entrance exam to join the military and just wind up out on the streets with no hope. And the plan is for hopefully those young people will feel a sense of hopelessness, will get angry and frustrated, resort to crime, even if they don't have to, if they're just getting together, protesting, peacefully protesting. Project 2025 says they will send in the military. They'll send in the National Guard. They'll send in the Marines and the Army to not just to stop peaceful protests, but to shoot protesters. All this is in Project 2025. And remember, because the Supreme Court just said that a president has absolute immunity when it comes to an official act. Who gets to declare and decide what an official act is but the president? So Kevin Roberts, once again, the man who put together Project 2025, basically warning that if America doesn't agree and buy into bow down and allow the MAGA cult to take over and create a dictatorship, that there will be bloodshed. I'll read his words again. We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows. Well, Kevin Roberts, unfortunately, there's already been bloodshed. There was a man that died. He was a girl dad, a fireman, who attended the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is a little north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, city that I worked in for 3 years doing radio back in the 90s, in the early, mid-90s. Now, this man, I never met. This man, obviously, he was a Trump supporter. He and I have very little, from an ideological standpoint, we have absolutely nothing in common. And he's probably lived in and walked in a level of white privilege, especially as a white man, a level of white privilege that no one else in America have. White women don't have the level of privilege that white men have. Black people, period, black women or black men, I'm not afforded that level of privilege. But that man's privilege did not save his life because he was killed by another white man, a young, really a kid, 20, a registered Republican. Now, this man that lost his life was a girl dad. And as a girl dad myself times two, I have nothing but compassion, empathy, and humanity, and a prayer for that man's family and for that man's daughters. Because regardless of whatever his ideology is or was, he was a father. And he had daughters, I believe, Two, he was protecting his family. At least one or two. And the point is, I'm sure, I could imagine, I'm pretty confident, this man loved his daughters because he was protecting his daughter or daughters and his family. And I'm confident that his daughters loved him. So what we better start doing is seeing the humanity in each other and stop seeing this tribalistic, made-up construct, this bullshit, this brainwash people of whiteness and color. And it was created for only a small handful of people, like your billionaires. Like you got 1,000 billionaires in America. And not each and every one, but there's a significant number of billionaires that don't give a shit about poor and working class white people, that actually despise poor and working class white people even more so than they do black people and black people of color, brown or Afro-Latino, Native Americans, because their attitude is, and this is not my opinion, these are conversations that I have overheard and been involved in with powerful white men who have power and privilege, the corporate world. You develop a relationship. Sometimes folks tell you how they really feel. That these billionaires, they don't give a shit about poor working class white people. They use race, which is the way race was used and why it was created way back in the 1600s, around 1680s in Europe, for a very small handful of people to maintain and control the power, the social, political, and most important, the economic power to pit you, to make you think the reason that you can't get health insurance and the reason why your teeth are falling out of your mouth and you can't get a good job and your kids are strung out on drugs, and the plants and the factories that were in your towns and communities packed up and left, the reason that happened was because of somebody that looked like me, a black person or a person from Mexico or Central America or South America. When the people who really made the decision to take the factories and the jobs and the companies out of your small towns, all across rural America, were primarily white men that looked like you. That you feel that you had some type of fidelity and a brotherhood with, because we're both white men and white power and make America great. And they brainwashed your ass. Yeah, make America great. And threw your ass a red baseball cap and told you that, it's the black people in the cities and the immigrants that are coming into the country causing crime. Well, the fact is, the most violent city in America is in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. And cities like Chicago, it's not even in the top 20 of most violent cities in America. So you've been brainwashed. I've said this so many times on this show that fear, hatred in all of its forms, racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, anti-Semitism, anti-Islamophobia or anti-Muslim hate, anti-immigrant hate, hate and bigotry and fear and misogyny in all of its forms has always been big business. It always has. For centuries, we have had wars that have made a handful of people, not just wealthy, rich, beyond rich in wealth, beyond their wildest dreams. Fear causes people to go out and buy guns in mass and ammunition and weapons. Fear makes you think that there's some invasion coming across the southern border, where President Biden has deported more people than any other president, probably next to President Obama. President Biden has supported more people coming across the southern border than Donald Trump ever dreamed of. The only difference is when people came across the border, President Biden didn't separate babies from their parents and their mothers and then put people in basically internment camps, like concentration camps, which they're going to do again. And that's in Project 2025. A mass deportation of 20 million people and empower local law enforcement to round up illegals. You're going to base that on what they look like? So how many people who were born and raised, how many American citizens are you going to round up? Oh, they got an answer for that too. They want to basically get rid of the 14th Amendment. What is the 14th Amendment? Gives every American born in this country birthright citizenship. That means if you were born in America or any of America's territories, you are by birthright, you are an American citizen. Oh, they want to get rid of that too. And that's part of Project 2025. And let me close by saying this. I've been warning you, I've been telling you that the media is very complicit in what you're seeing. I said, the media, I quoted a guy named Les Moonves, former president of CBS, all of CBS. He was forced to resign. There was a sexual misconduct scandal on some level. He was forced to resign. He was interviewed somewhere. And I guess the reporter said, well, you know that you and all the other networks, CBS and all the other networks and cable outlets, gave Donald Trump so much free airtime back in 2016 and 2015. Looking back at it, do you think that hurt our democracy? And Les Moonves, without even batting an eye, see, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, all the free airtime that we gave Donald Trump was, it was probably bad for democracy, but it was great for business. You can Google that. So the media is not, and I said this last week, the media does not give a damn about democracy. The only thing they give a damn about is the dollars. Chaos, confusion, violence makes for, this is the term, and I've been working in media for over 3 decades. This makes for great TV. What happened Saturday? It made for great TV. There's been nonstop wall-to-wall coverage on every cable network. And I said it. I literally said it last week. Violence, the media, and they will foster it. They will help create an environment. And when it happens, they will feed into it. Because they know humans are it's like a moth to a flame. Because violence and chaos and confusion, once again, according to the decision makers in television, broadcast television and cable television, have been saying for decades, it makes for great TV. It makes for great ratings. People are captivated and tuned in, and anxiety, fear, they're like frozen, they can't stop watching it. Viewership, through the roof. Ratings, through the roof. Sales, they sell that airtime. It's great for business. It's horrible for democracy, but the media does not care about democracy. But what we need to stay focused on is that, once again, this fall, when early voting starts on November 5th, you are choosing between your freedom and the freedom of your family and the people you love, your children, maybe grandchildren, nieces, nephews, maybe children and grandchildren yet unborn. It's a choice between your freedom and your family's freedom and you and your family's suppression. It is that simple. It's not even about President Joe Biden versus Orange Hitler Donald Trump. It's bigger than that, because the forces that are really the most dangerous people in the MAGA cult is not Donald Trump, Orange Hitler. He's just an avatar, a figurehead. It's the people who are part of the cult, behind the cult, that wrote Project 2025, that understands law and legislation and how to use those who have worked in government, who understands how government works, so they understand how to destroy and dismantle and take apart government. And that's exactly what is in Project 2025, a plan to completely dismantle and destroy this democracy in 100 days, the first 100 days. That is what is still at stake, and it is a choice between your freedom and your democracy, your freedom and your oppression. You are choosing, you and your family, to continue to be free, or for you and your family to be oppressed. I can't say it and repeat it enough. You're choosing between your freedom or your oppression, between having a democracy as dysfunctional as it is, which has not worked great for black people and Native American people, but it still worked to some degree and needs a whole hell of a lot of improvement. But you're choosing that or dictatorship. Well, whatever freedoms that we have will be gone. And this country will be taken back from an ideology standpoint, or an ideological standpoint, like I was saying. It'll be taken back, not from 2024, not to 1924, to 1824. Democracy or dictatorship, that is your choice. That is everybody's choice. You're choosing President Biden, a democracy, freedom, and a fair and equal opportunity for everybody, regardless of how much melanin you have or don't have, regardless of what your sexual orientation is, regardless of where you live, your zip code, regardless of what God you pray to or whether or not you believe in God. And a dictatorship that wants to have a religious theocracy, that wants to impose a very racist version of Christianity, white Christian nationalism, upon the entire country, and for those who don't bow down and obey, to put them in concentration camps, or if they protest out in the streets peacefully, to shoot them and kill them, to destroy public schools, to get rid of the Department of Education and require all young people to take a military entrance exam, but to, once again, to remove all money for public schools. And if you want to put your child in a private school, because of the Supreme Court, a president can, declare an executive order. He can have one of his official acts. He can make one of his official acts to say that it is not illegal. It is constitutional. If private schools want to ban black people from enrolling, they've already banned the books. Why not just ban black people altogether? A president, according to the Supreme Court, that could be his official act to allow segregation, for segregation to be legal, because it was on paper. That was part of Jim Crow. At the core of Jim Crow, segregation was legal in every area. Public accommodations, when I'm talking about, bathrooms, libraries, train stations, bus stations, restaurants, sporting events, arenas, you name it. Swimming pools, something that simple. Your favorite restaurant, because we don't serve black folks, or worse, we don't serve N-words. Oh no. Project 2025 will allow all this, because it will allow, since the Supreme Court has already put it in place, they've made a decision that a president, a sitting president, has complete, I want to make sure I got the right word, complete autonomy when it comes to official acts. Complete autonomy means he doesn't have to answer to anybody. So you've been warned, all right? Spread the word, spread this show around, let people check it out, let them know what's happening. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you for watching tonight, everybody. And if you're watching me live, thank you. Now, you may be watching, I don't know, Tuesday morning, whenever, Tuesday afternoon. So thank you for watching. Once again, please subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch every episode. Leave your comments here in the comment section. Spread the word. My goal is to get 1,000 new subscribers. I have over 600 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody, all my new subscribers, and those who've been with me from day one. Spread the word. Goal to get 1,000 new subscribers, roughly in the next 60 days by Labor Day weekend. So the Geno Jones Show brought to you by CM Transportation. If your transportation company is not dependable, it's not reliable, and it's not on time, or you're about to launch a business, start a business, you need a transportation company that is dependable, reliable, come on, and on time. CM like Mary, CM Transportation LLC.net, CM Transportation LLC.net, or you can give them a call. Headquartered here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, 843 area code 606-2702. 606-2702. You like how I did that? Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. Check him and his work, his cuts, because Kel be cutting up. Check him out on IG or Instagram. Kel be cutting up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones and Bruce Gage, the official wardrobe consultants and stylists for the Geno Jones Show. Check out Allie Jones and her Lexi Jones collection at LX.NCL_. There's a little dash behind the second L. LX.NCL_. And Bruce Gage, the Mario Uomo collection, this jacket, this blazer, I should say, part of the Mario Uomo collection. That's an Italian name. So you can check it out on Instagram. Check out Mr. Mario Uomo or Mr. Bruce Gage, a.k.a. Mario Uomo, the Mario Uomo collection. Miglio di Mario Uomo, MIGLIODI, MIGLIODI, MARIO, and Flyball the store. So Mr. Bruce Gage has the official license to carry he has the license to carry the official Negro League baseball gear, from sweaters like varsity style jacket sweaters, shirts, ties, t-shirts, dresses, and a whole lot more. Caps. So check them out. Flyball the store is FLYBALLTHESTORE, flyballthestore.com. We will see you live Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, please tell everybody you know, or as Nelly would say, tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. We have the goal, 1,000 new subscribers to go in the next 60 days. Subscribe and share, screen grab, rip the video, like the show, binge watch all my back episodes, and please leave your comments, all your comments, in the comment sections right here, or the comment section, or whatever episode you're watching. And you can binge watch and leave comments on all of my episodes. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you live Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Chicago, 3:30 p.m. Los Angeles. We'll see you then.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.